Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdad and mom that they shouldn't be surprised at what my little brother said to them when they pulled a prank on him? I, 20 female, am an older sister to my little biological brother, 17 male, who finished high school last year. My little brother and I are really close. He says I'm the best friend he has and he loves me more than anyone. Of course, this is not true. He has many friends of his own. My brother has been asking our stepdad/mother if he could get a new car for his graduation party since last year, and he said he'd pay 50 to 75% with his own hard-earned money while they pay the rest. They said no. I have a car, but I had been working for one, and they helped me pay it off. So my brother's arguments with our parents got heated after a while. One time, I told my brother that I'd help him pay off expenses for a good car once I got my own. He hugged me and said I didn't need to worry, and that he owed me way more than I owed him. But he continued to press our parents all of last year until they gave in and said yes like they did for me. Note that our stepdad and my brother have a negative relationship for the most part. Our boy mother and stepdad got together soon after our boy dad and mom divorced when we were little. My brother thinks that stepdad and mother were seeing each other before our real parents divorced. And to be honest, I think that might be true. Not certain though. Anyway, my stepdad, mother, and brother compromised and said they'd get him the car in 2021 so that people don't gawk at him at the graduation party. June this year, my brother and stepdad/mother are still on about the car. Now the argument's getting loud and lasting hours until evening. My stepdad was getting into screaming matches with my brother over it, but they reached a final compromise of the car being bought last week. The fated morning comes, and my brother wakes up to our stepdad and mom guiding him outside to a car. But not his, our mother's. Stepdad used his and my brother's money on a dumb prank, bought a completely different model of car, and said it was for our mother. Our mom and stepdad just laughed and kissed each other. My brother didn't lose it. He didn't even look angry. He just looked dead in our stepdad's eyes and said, "I'm not joking." Verbatim, "You might think I'm freaking stupid. You might think whatever. But I'm just better than you, bro. You know that. I know that. And our mom is a freaking idiot for staying with a prick like you. But I'll make you wish you'd never freaking met us. I promise you. You might be laughing now, but you'll be crying later." He then walked off, not even looking back at them as they stared horrified. They asked me what was that about, and I, feeling terrible for my brother, said they had it coming and not to be surprised. So now they grounded both of us. I've had to explain the situation to my friends as I can't see them anymore, but I feel so bad for my baby brother and they back me up on this. They ask me to comfort him as much as possible. But our parents are so mad, and they can't see that my brother had his heart crushed. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before the little update. Not the a-hole. Your brother is a better person than I am because I would be blasting stepdad/mother everywhere. I'd call the local news stations and ask if they are interested in a story of parents stealing from their child. I'd tell family, friends, people at church, random strangers on the street, post about it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, make a YouTube video, everything. Your mother is the worst for letting someone do this to her child. I want to say so many things that would get me permanently banned. Not stay home. I will pay for the lawyer. Wait, so your parents used 75% of your brother's money to buy themselves a car as a prank? Yes, as awful as it sounds. My brother is destroyed by my mother especially. Can't your brother report this? They stole his money. That isn't a prank. That is financial abuse. They stole from him. And since this is a car, they stole, what, thousands? A prank would have ended with him getting the car, or at the very least getting his share of the money back. It isn't a prank if you make a profit off of it. They stole from him, full stop. Then they laughed about it. They should be ashamed. Also, what they did isn't legal, especially if your brother is 18. Keep any text or documentation that it was agreed upon, just in case. I don't understand how they think they can ground a 17-year-old, never mind a 20-year-old. Pranks are mean. They're an atrocious form of humor. More bullying than humor, really. Your brother's money was stolen. He should make a report to the police. Not the a-hole. The only good pranks are reversible. Harmless jokes that aim to confuse, not harm or scare or bully, and have no lasting effects. People do some incredibly mean-spirited, heinous stuff in the name of pranks sometimes. Update. Thank you everyone. All the insights mean a lot. I'm working on talking to my brother on a potential legal action like a lawsuit to get the expenses back from our stepfather. My bio-dad is generally nice and loving to us. I think he barely tolerates our stepdad and his ex-wife, our mother. And he'll take us back in full time if the law allows it. If not, my brother and I will move in together to our own place. Right now, I'm trying to be there for my little brother as much as possible. Lots of cuddles and free food, but he won't stop bawling his eyes out. I'm worried psychological harm has been done to him. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my kid's half-sibling? 2 years ago, I found out my ex cheated. He was trying to win me back after I kicked him out, but stopped when he found out his other woman was pregnant. They got married and now have a daughter together who just turned 1. Ex and I have 2 kids together, 14 male and 13 female. The kids are primarily with me because ex lives 3 hours from the kids' school. They see him every other weekend, extended weeks in summer, and alternating holidays. He and I are civil around the kids, but I ignore any and all communication with him outside of that. And he has tried to communicate with me. And so has his wife, but I ignore her completely, and I refuse any communication with her after she called me the C word for saying no to sharing Mother's Day with her the first year of their relationship being official. The kids know Dad cheated because of their ages, and the fact he left home and moved in with her within a couple of weeks. I told them they don't need to hate Dad for me and put them in therapy, but they have a very strained relationship with him because of his actions. Our breakup has been so hard on them, and I feel horrible that I can't make it better for them. I say all this to provide context for the situation. Ex sent me a text Sunday afternoon asking me to watch his daughter overnight because he and his wife had a family emergency they needed to deal with, and the babysitter didn't pick up. I sent a simple reply of no, and didn't respond after that. Turns out her father was dying in the hospital, and ex wasn't there with her because the hospital don't allow visitors under 16 since COVID. He has blown up my phone every day since. I'm still ignoring it. Now, part of me questions if I was the a-hole though. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She's not your kid, and their situation isn't your problem. Sounds like a horrible thing to say, but it's the truth. And they live 3 hours away. Like, oh yeah, cool. I'll just drive 3 hours to watch your baby that you had when you cheated on me. This guy thinks he's God's gift or think Opie's a doormat? Lol, ridiculous. It's telling the only person neither of them could turn to is Opie. The ex who lives 3 hours away and generally won't speak to them unless it's about the kids. Not family, not friends, not friend acquaintances. Tells you a lot about how unpleasant these people are. Not the a-hole. And warn him of repercussions if he continues to harass his ex like this. Also make sure to tell your kids they're not live-in babysitters in the summer. This so much. I bet they love having the young teens around to care for their little sister, so they can be absent-minded parents or go out on a date night. Not the a-hole. You're 3 hours away? What? They don't have anyone neither of them cheated on within 3 hours. The freaking balls on this guy. And her LMAO sharing Mother's Day. I'm just going to assume she knew he was married during the affair. Not that it'd make a difference on your answer. Just the absolute balls on these people. I can't even believe it. It really pissed me off that she reacted how she did to my saying no. It's not like she'd even known my kids a year at that point. And being honest, it seemed bossy given what had happened. She had a husband who could babysit his own child. She wanted him there. He wanted to be there. It couldn't happen. I do get it to an extent, but I was not the person to ask. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving my dad's early instead of babysitting? Haven't seen my dad in almost 7 months because I, 23 male, live like half a day away with my girlfriend. Last weekend, I decided to ask for some time off to go see my pops. And I asked if it was cool for me to stay there so we can hang out and do something on Saturday. My dad said that would be great. He seemed happy about it, so I thought that was the plan. I made a drive, got there by Friday night, and slept on the couch at his place. My dad has a wife, and they have my little brother, 6. Saturday morning, my stepmom said me and my brother should go to the beach or something fun out of the house. But I told her, well, my dad and I had plans to have some guy time. My brother could come though, no problem. but she said they had plans already. When I talked to my dad, he said he was sorry. Said my stepmom got all excited after he told her I was coming, and she thought this would be a great time for them to go out. Guess they were gonna do a spa day, go out to eat, then movies. It was gonna take the whole day, but my dad thought we could do something together on Sunday. But Sunday was literally when I was leaving. Probably have like 2 hours to spend time together before I needed to be on the road. I got pretty mad at him. I told him I didn't drive for hours to babysit. Whole point of coming out was to spend time with him. He kept saying he's sorry, that my stepmom just jumped at it and he doesn't want her feeling bad. Then she butt in and said I should be happy to spend time with my brother, especially with me staying at their house for free. Well, I told my dad there's no point in me staying if we're only gonna have a couple hours to hang out. So I just got my stuff and made a drive back home. She thinks I was a huge a-hole now for being bratty instead of doing something nice for them. They couldn't even got out after I left. I was mad when I left because of the change of plans with literally no warning. But I don't know if I was an a-hole for basically doing the same thing to them and refusing to babysit my brother so they could have their time. To me, it just wasn't fair to waste all my time there when I wasn't gonna be able to do what I went there to do. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. You went to visit your dad, and your stepmom saw a free babysitter for some alone time with him instead. She knew she was wrong. She tried to hide the spa day by suggesting a brother's beach trip. If she needs alone time with him that badly, she can hire a babysitter. You were cheated out of quality time with your dad, and shame on him for not sticking up for you and saying he wants to spend time with you while you're there to visit him. This father is weak and pathetic that he can't stand up for his own son. If I were the OP, I'd be making it another 7 months before seeing him. Call me when you want to be my dad instead of just her husband. Not a-hole. Edit. Yikes. Do we all have crappy parents that always prioritize their significant others over their kids? Especially with me staying at their house for free. What? Does she expect you to pay to visit your dad for a day? Does she not understand the concept of visiting your parent? Her comment pissed me off almost more than her actions did. I'm really curious what she was implying, because that's just gross. It's not like you crashed on the couch because you needed some place to stay. Not a-hole. She's an entitled brat. Not a-hole. Did you drive up? Because that long a drive must have cost you quite a bit in gas. Not a-hole at all. You haven't seen your dad in 7 months, and the first thing your stepmom thinks is free childcare? What an incredibly entitled and selfish woman. Your dad is no better because he just went along with her nonsense. Hugh absolutely did the right thing. In her mind, it isn't free childcare. It's an exchange for allowing him to use the couch for one whole night. That makes it even worse. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for turning my stepmom and my dad laughingstock in front of the whole family? Recently, my dad and my stepmom, Sarah, decided to renew their vows. Since they both cheated on their partners, they feel the wedding experience was ruined for them. They wanted a small get-together at their house to discuss some plans with the whole family. My wife, 25 female and I, 30 male, informed them that we couldn't make it because my wife had to attend an engagement party with my mom, 52 female, but they insisted that my wife and my mom come directly to their house after their party. My wife is Indian, so she dressed up in her traditional attire and made my mom wear it too because she really wanted to wear a sari and they both looked gorgeous. So when they arrived at the house, everyone, my dad's side of the family and Sarah's friends, were fawning over them. And if I'm not wrong, some of Sarah's male friends were hitting on my mom. We were just hanging around the living room area when I saw my twin sons, 4 male, starting a fight because one of them has something and the other one gets jealous, so I ran to put a stop to them because they might break it. When I went there, I saw Sarah and my dad just sitting on the sofa. So I asked them what happened, and they told me they feel the attention has been shifted from them. I knew they meant my wife and my mom. While they were telling me this, my twins started fighting again. So I said, Boys, if you don't stop getting jealous of each other like your grandfather and Sarah, I will put all 4 of you in timeout. Some of my dad and Sarah's friends heard it and started laughing, and soon it became a laughing matter. It died down when they announced they were renewing their vows and everything, so the dinner went well and we left. The next day, I got a call from both my dad and Sarah telling me how much of a nail I was and how I made them a laughingstock in front of everyone. So I told them I wouldn't have done it if they hadn't acted like children. I have been getting texts from my brothers saying I was an a-hole for ruining their day. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Info, why did your dad want your mom there? That's the weirdest part of the story. My best guess is they thought that if Opie's mom was there being happy and accepting of them, then their marriage would stop feeling so tainted due to the fact that they cheated on their respective ex-spouses, and everyone else would start being happy and accepting of their marriage and forget the fact that they cheated on their respective ex. My mom and dad are cordial with each other. They don't have any bad blood. Or you could just say my saint of a mom forgave him for cheating and holds no resentment towards him or Sarah. Not today, ho. They had their day on their wedding, and they screwed that up. Why would they want your mother to come to their house to help plan her ex-husband's vow renewal to his new wife? Good on your mom and wife for stealing the show. They should have accepted that your wife had a previous engagement. Your dad and his wife sound exhausting. Maybe they will stay mad long enough that you will be disinvited to the renewal. They had their day on their wedding, and they screwed that up. Yeah, that was going to be a given since they cheated on their respective ex-spouses. I doubt anyone at the wedding was happy for them at all since they ripped two families to be there. Mutual adultery is a big mood/happiness killer. Not an a-hole. You're an opportunist, not an a-hole. Dad and Sarah are only mad because it's true. They'll get over it. Disregard and carry on, I say. Thanks. Am I the a-hole for walking out the surprise birthday party my family threw for me? I, 26 female, have been married to my wheelchair-bound husband Adam for 2 years now. His disability was a result of a major car accident shortly after we got back from our honeymoon. His injuries were too severe and no one thought he was going to get better. My life certainly changed, because now I have tons of responsibilities, but I'm happy and blessed to still have him in my life. Before the accident, my family used to invite Adam to events and dinners and visit all the time, but not anymore. They don't see him much but help out with our financial struggles. I have been told that being a caregiver is huge and unfair since I'm young. My mom even tried to set me up with a guy named James, her friend's son, by inviting me to lunch with him or giving him my number/social media account. I told her it won't work. I love Adam and will care for him for the rest of my life if I had to. So I put space between me and my family, and said unless they stop bringing James, who was disrespectful towards Adam, around me, I won't visit them. Mom apologized, and I haven't seen James in months, which was a relief. My birthday was days ago, and I had to work that day but planned to celebrate with Adam in the evening. But at 3 p.m., I got a phone call from Mom asking me to stop by once I get off work. I arrived at Mom's house to find my entire family there setting up a surprise birthday party. I was thrilled, as I didn't think they'd even pay for a party after already helping me with money. Then I asked if I could go bring Adam so we could celebrate together, but they stalled saying my brother will bring him. And that's when the door rang and there was James. I was confused. I asked what he was doing there, and Mom said I should relax as she invited him and his mom. I remained calm and took the gift James brought after so much hesitation. I opened it and there was some jewelry piece. Then he made a snide comment asking if Adam was ever able to afford such piece of jewelry. I just closed the box and gave it back. They insisted I take it, but I grabbed my bag and said I was leaving. Mom said I should stay because the family, sisters, brother, and nephew came together to do this for me. I told her it was rude of her to catch off guard and invite James to the party. She and Dad followed after I walked out asking me to return, but I just kept walking. Afterwards, Mom and Aunt left messages, saying it was disrespectful to walk out like that after the efforts they made to celebrate my birthday. They said I had plenty of time to celebrate with my husband, and I shouldn't have made a scene and embarrassed them in front of their friends. They said I screwed up and overreacted by being hostile towards those who were trying to be nice and take my mind off the stress. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Haven't told Adam about it, so he wouldn't be burdened with family issues. He's still emotionally recovering and I'm being careful about the stuff that would upset him. I found him asleep when I got home. He usually sleeps as early as 5 p.m. We didn't have a celebration, but talked in the morning. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. The James stuff goes far beyond trying to be nice. That's some evil crap right there. It's ironic because you had literally just married your husband. In the vows, there's always that in sickness and in health stuff, and they want you to straight up abandon your husband the second he needs you? What if the situation was reversed and she was in the wheelchair? Would they not expect Adam to help as her husband? I hope his family sucks. Not Dayhall, but at this point, no contact or low contact because they will keep trying, and James is weird. The problem is it sounds like Opie and Adam are dependent on her family financially. Opie, I hope you and hubby have filed for federal disability payments. I know it can be a pain in the butt and take forever, but this is the type of situation they exist for. Not Dayhall. Not even a teeny tiny little bit. But curiosity has me wondering, did you find out if your brother was actually going to get your husband? The answer has no sway in my ruling. I'm just curious. No, my brother never left to go get Adam. This just makes you even more not Dayhall. You're a saint. Your family's absolutely freaking abhorrent. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for canceling my son's birthday party upon discovering that he ruined his stepbrother's deceased brother's hoodie? It's a complex situation, but I'll do my best to explain. I'm male 45, have a bio son Leo 16 from my previous relationship. I married a stepmom who is a mother of 2 boys, Connor, 20 deceased, and Derek, 12. I've never had the pleasure to meet Connor, who tragically passed away from a motorcycle accident. Derek was so devastated by this loss, and although it's been years, he's still pretty much grieving. I've seen tons of pictures and videos of Connor, and made efforts to get to know who he was as a way to share Derek's grief and be there for him to lend an ear and a comforting shoulder. It's safe to say that Derek and I grew a strong bond in no time, but my son Leo isn't close to Derek. Understandable, because not all siblings and step-siblings are the same. Leo and Derek are different in everything, which isn't a bad thing. But Leo calls himself the brutally honest type and makes insensitive comments about Derek most of the time, which tend to be under the guise of advice. Derek never complained, so I had to step in and tell Leo to stop being insensitive towards his stepbrother, especially with everything regarding Connor and his memory. Leo would say, "Okay, I get it, and I won't do it again." Then days ago, Leo wanted to hang out with my friends and asked Derek if he wanted to join. Derek agreed and put on Connor's hoodie before going out. Leo commented on the hoodie and called it ugly and asked him to put on something else, but Derek insisted on wearing it or not go. So Leo dropped it. Hours later, Derek came home crying with his hoodie in his hand. He said Leo and friends cut it into pieces while he was in the bathroom after they convinced him to take it off. I was furious. He asked Leo and he said it was his friend's idea, then said he had to do it since Derek wears it everywhere and it looked old and embarrassing. I reminded him who this hoodie belonged to, and he said, "So what? Maybe this will help him move on in life." I then told him his birthday was cancelled and his friends aren't welcome anymore. He pitched a fit saying his birthday was a right, not a privilege, and I can't cancel it. He had my ex criticize my decision and wanted to host his birthday party, but I refused because he is grounded, so no party anywhere. She and her family then called me awful and ridiculous, and asked me to thank how Leo will hate me for this, but I insisted he needed punishment for putting his stepbrother through this. Note, the hoodie belonged to Connor when he was younger, and Derek kept it. Not Dayhall. That's a cruel, cruel thing to do. Edit. Just read the ages. At 16, your son did that to a bereaved 12-year-old. Perhaps seek therapy for him? If this story is true, there was something really wrong with a 16-year-old son. His birthday was a right, not a privilege. That may be one of the most entitled things I've ever heard. He did something absolutely terrible, and that hoodie can't be replaced. I cannot believe the complete lack of empathy that he displayed with his actions. What he did to Derek was cruel. He absolutely deserves to have his birthday celebration cancelled. Not Dayhall, and good on you for actually disciplining him even though he's your bio son. For context, there are quite a few AITA posts where a parent will choose their bio child over their stepchild, even when they're clearly in the wrong. He is absolutely right that the birthday is a right. He can have his birthday. Nobody can stop him from turning 17. However, celebrating it is a privilege and not a right. As cruel as he was, he deserves the right to turn 17 without any fanfare. Not Dayhall. Not Dayhall. You're a calmer man than me. If my 16-year-old son did that, I would have lost my mind. What he and his friends did was freaking horrific, and they need to be shown how terrible it was. Canceling of his birthday is a good start, and some serious soul-searching is also in order. Bravo to you for not allowing your ex to interject and throw him a party anyway. We did have a loud argument, trust me, and I lost my temper. But Leo is the type that talks back, so he's the one yelling most of the time. The outcome is the same. I still canceled his birthday because of what he did, and also because his friends aren't welcome to my house for what they did as well. I'd be talking to the parents of the other kids as well. All of these kids need their behinds handed to them stat. I gotta say, some of those kids' parents are enablers. They see nothing wrong with their kids' behaviors, and make no effort to even take time of their day to have a civil discussion about whatever issues I'm dealing with as a result of their kids' behaviors. It is how it is, because Leo tends to be protective of his friends despite them being bad influence. Next story. Am I the a-hole for making my sister leave my house after her joke about my son's mom leaving again? My son Jack is going to be 2 soon. His mom Annie has a complicated history in how this all happened. Her husband passed away, and 3 months after that, we slept together. We were barely friends at the time, so I didn't know until after our first night together that she'd recently become a widow. But she told me she was really lonely, and just enjoyed that physical connection. So for about 8 months, that's how it was, though we didn't see each other too often. Then we found out she was pregnant. She wanted to go through with the pregnancy, and I fully supported her if that was what she wanted. The thing was, she still had a lot of grief. And when my son was born, it was hard for her to connect with him. She said she felt guilty having a baby with another man after losing her husband. By the time Jack was 4 months, she hadn't gotten any better, and her mental health completely deteriorated. I took over with him full-time after this, since she wasn't in the best place to be a mother. Annie still visited a few days out of the week for a short period, but I was doing most of childcare while she went to therapy. Then she was in the hospital for a while, and she couldn't come over much during COVID except for video chats, so she's essentially become a stranger to him. 3 months ago, she started coming around more after not seeing him for a while. She's on antidepressants, and therapy has helped her a lot. Now she is more set on being a mom, and we're slowly reintroducing him to her. My sister hasn't been happy about this. I know she's upset on my behalf as I struggled a bit as a single parent. She knows the situation that happened with her, but still thinks she shouldn't be allowed back into Jack's life after abandoning him. And yeah, I get her feelings. But since Annie's in a better place mentally, then I want to give a shot at Jack having a mom around. I still have my guard up, obviously, and we're taking it one day at a time. But I see how different she is with him now. Well, my sister hasn't stopped making comments no matter how many times I've told her to knock it off. She dropped by unannounced when Annie was here, and was very openly hostile right in front of Jack. Annie offered to leave, and then my sister jokes, "Make sure you come back this time." I told her to leave, and not come back until she can act right with the mother of my child. My sister is offended that I'm taking her side by kicking her out of my house, since she's only angry on my behalf and it was a joke she made. That's why she thinks I'm an a-hole. But for me, I was thinking I'd rather get her out ASAP before saying something else in front of my son. Was I being an a-hole? Now for the comments. Not a hole. You've repeatedly set boundaries with your sister regarding how she treats Annie. Actions have consequences. And this is all affecting, or will eventually affect, the kid. Having his mom be treated poorly by his aunt is not in his best interests. Not a hole for a number of reasons. 1. Your child will do best in life if he has a healthy mother. You've done a great job of making this happen for him. 2. Her mother is struggling with her mental health. I doubt your sister would be so judgmental if she had to go away and get treatment for cancer. Her mental health isn't her fault, but it is her responsibility, and it sounds like she has taken responsibility for it and gotten help, which is great. 3. If your sister really cared about her nephew and you, she'd keep her comments to herself. They don't help anyone. It doesn't matter if she's saying them on your behalf. They aren't constructive, like at all. You're a good person, Opie, and a great father. Your kid is lucky to have you, and so is his mom. Keep up the good work. There's so much. Annie didn't abandon her son. She didn't leave because she was fed up with being a mom. She had to go away to become healthier. She wasn't being irresponsible. If anything, she was doing the responsible thing of becoming better so she could be a better mom. Not a hole. She didn't abandon him. She realized she couldn't be his mother with the way she was feeling mentally and emotionally, and she did her best to get better. You're an awesome person for having her back and understanding. Also for being such a good dad. Your sister is an a-hole for making jokes when she knows you're okay with Annie being around him. I wish you the best, dude. I guess it's different when you're the one who witnessed everything that happened instead of just being told about it. Me personally, I saw how much Annie struggled, so I want things to be better now so they could have a healthy relationship. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for sitting mother-in-law and father-in-law down and telling them we will not support them in their old age and they can't live with us? My husband's parents have been divorced for 15 years and both remarried within a year or two of splitting. Father-in-law and his wife are not doing well financially. He has a gambling problem, while she has a shopping problem, and they live way beyond their means. I try to mind my own business, but my husband is the only child, and I worry that they think we are going to provide in their old age. Mother-in-law on the other doesn't work. She is married to a man who works in commercial real estate and is very successful. He owns a share of the firm, is semi-retired, and they live very well. We aren't close to mother-in-law. We are civil when we see her a couple times a year, but there isn't much of a relationship. So we decided that we had to talk to father-in-law about his retirement plans in the future. We want him to have fair warning and understand that we are not going to be helping. We decided to talk to mother-in-law as well. Not that she expects anything, but to make it less embarrassing for father-in-law to be fair. We asked them both to lunch and told them that they will never be welcome to live with us and that we are not going to fund them in their old age, so save accordingly. Father-in-law seemed embarrassed but said he understood. But mother-in-law began to get angry and wanted to know why she was there. I explained we were just being upfront, but she kept demanding to know if she had ever asked us for anything. She said we wasted her time. We haven't seen each other since Christmas, and why would she even want to live with people she sees 2 or 3 times a year? She then said she doesn't even like us, which seemed kind of dramatic, then stormed off. I am somewhat friendly with mother-in-law's stepdaughter, and I heard from her that mother-in-law's husband is pissed. He is pretty old-fashioned about gender roles and the man providing, and I guess he took it as a huge insult. Mother-in-law is apparently offended because she thinks I lumped her in with her ex. I think everyone's just being crazy dramatic. You're the a-hole. You took someone out to dinner who never asked to live with you, and who you barely see, just to tell them they were not welcome to live with you? And you're going to sit there and pretend you're completely shocked that they might take offense. Also, you were wasting her time. Waste someone's time to set boundaries that were never needed, then shocked Pikachu face when they're offended. Hey, I just wanted to take you out to dinner to let you know that if you end up needing a kidney transplant and I'm a match, you can't have mine. We organized the special dinner to make an announcement. We will not be helping to plan your funeral or even be in attendance. What, you thought you were getting grandbabies? Haha, no. You're the a-hole. You insulted your mother-in-law just to make her ex-husband more comfortable? Also, you insulted your father-in-law by having a very awkward conversation in front of his ex. Also, why did you even need to be there? Why couldn't your husband talk to his parents alone? How did you think this was a good idea? You're the a-hole. You were incredibly rude to your mother-in-law, and her reaction was totally justified. No wonder she doesn't like you. I just saw this, and I already don't like Opie.